Hey YouTube, I'm Acousticsteveo, the crypto bard, making my way through the cryptoverse. Join me on my journey. Let's have some fun. I just realized I'm done fueling, so I'll be back in a sec. Alright. Got my Bluetooth in my ear. See if I can get some better sound than I've been getting. We'll see. Oh, I can actually take this thing down. It's my other Bluetooth device, but no, it's just kind of in the way. So, all right, I made a live stream a couple days ago, and it was just really horrible. So I deleted it because the quality was really bad. I tried streaming with my phone on desktop mode through YouTube, the YouTube desktop mode that you could put on, and it made the sound quality go all wonky. I was trying to get to where I could put tags in the video, and I haven't figured out a lot of things, so I'm still trying to figure things out. So anyways, when I did it that way, the quality was horrible, and I ended up deleting it. So I'm going to try it again and do another video on Joy Sparkle BS's return to YouTube. Now, for those of you who don't know who Joy Sparkle BS is, she's a YouTuber that came up around and it was about, I think it was last year, and it might have been the very end of 2016 when she started, I believe. But by about this time last summer, she left she deleted her channel. She had like 60,000 subscribers, and what she was going through with the internet basically caused her to decide that the best thing for her to do was to delete her channel, because she was not able to handle it, I guess. That's the best way I could describe it. She had a lot of hate on the internet, and you know, a lot of people get a lot of hate when they get that big, but hers was a little bit more than normal, a little bit more than average, and she was being targeted by a lot of internet trolls slash just social justice warrior types that were just coming in after her for every little thing that she did or said, and taking her out of context left and right, and making hit pieces on her, and spreading all these lies all over the internet. And it was entertaining, really. I mean, it was at her expense. I hate to say that, because I'm a big fan of hers, and I actually have empathy for her. You know, the emotional turmoil that it really caused her. But at the same time, she put herself on the internet, so I don't have that much empathy, and it was really highly entertaining. But I'll tell you what's even more entertaining is watching her come back and just not give a shit, because that was my biggest criticism of her, was she was constantly apologizing to people and just seemed to give way too much of a shit about what her haters were doing. And now that she's back, I mean, there's probably still a little bit of that. Like, she seems hyper focused on some things that are hater based, but at the same time, it's not what it used to be. It's not just where she's coming off like just weak, really, straight up weak. She's not coming off weak anymore. At least she's actually going in on some people, and I'm enjoying it. Like, that's what I was wanting her to do. I was wanting her to stand up for herself and to, maybe use some of the tactics that were being used on her against the people that were doing certain things to her, and that's what she's starting to do now. And it's not like that's really what I get caught up in for watching her. That's really not even my thing with her stuff. I just think she's funny as hell, and she's not afraid to say things about American life that I believe a lot of the same ways that she does. So it's kind of nice to hear somebody else talk to certain things about, from our food being crap to our medicine being crap to people getting sick from products that are put out there that aren't safe, and all sorts of things, so it's just even as simple as like our culture and things that are screwed up in our culture. She's not afraid to not be PC about it. She'll just say what she thinks, and it's refreshing for me, because everybody else seems like they're so afraid to say something that's outside of what's politically correct, and she's just not. So I find a lot of enjoyment in that. So recently, she's been making these videos on these people on the internet that came after her, and I guess she's saying that these people had like done some things. I think they did some things with her roommate and his work, or some other people in their work that she knew. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm not trying to spread like misinformation, but I really don't remember all the details of what exactly these people did to her. But it was something along those lines, like they kind of crossed a boundary in her personal life, and with some of the stuff they were doing. It wasn't just that they were putting stuff on the internet that like went against her character. It was like they started to have dealings in her own personal life, as far as what they were doing, and that's kind of crossing the line. So she basically kind of outed them as bad people, basically, on the internet. People that are kind of like scumbags that have done some things that have crossed the line, basically. And in doing so, though, she kind of went in on their characters as well, and it was highly entertaining, highly funny. She basically, the guy, she says he's a Ron Jeremy lookalike, and he kind of is, whatever. I'm not really into criticizing somebody's looks, but for comedy purposes, go ahead. I mean, I'm a treasure trove. You can criticize me all you want. To all those internet trolls out there, I won't take offense, and I'll probably laugh my balls off when you hit the nail on the head. So anyways, this guy is a Ron Jeremy lookalike, and it's kind of funny. And his girlfriend, I guess, is a burlesque dancer, and I don't have a problem with that. But Joy kind of puts a spin on it, calls her a hooker. And this is kind of a new thing for Joy Sparkle BS, to straight up go in on somebody like that, like relentlessly. And Joy, this is the one thing I can criticize Joy on so far. To go in on somebody like that, call them a hooker, a sex worker, and show their Facebook profile, which I'll give Joy, I'll tell her, yes, it is public. And I think she was making a point with it, because these people had went in and used the excuse of, oh, it's public, to do some pretty nasty things to her and people around her. So I don't blame her one bit for going in showing this woman's Facebook profile, which this woman since deleted. I'm not even going to say these people's names. I know their names, but I'm not even into... I can really care less about like exposing them. know, that's Joy's deal. They were doing something to Joy. So, but I'm finding it entertaining. I'll tell you that much. And her whole thing is, though, she's been calling this woman a hooker and saying she's a sex worker and saying that the guy, the other guy, the guy that's her boyfriend, is kind of like being strung along, and that they're polyamorous. I don't have a problem with that either, but that really what it means is that she can go hook and he just has to deal with it. And I just find this highly entertaining. But my criticism of Joy is when she says something like that, she needs to back it up. Like, I want to see it. I want to see where this information came from, or at least be told the exact story of how you came to find out that this woman is a hooker. Like, I want to hear it. I mean, if you're going to put it out there, don't just say it and be so vague about it that I don't know what's going on. Like, I can't pinpoint the actual event that made you come to this conclusion that she's actually a hooker. I want to hear the story. And if you don't have the receipts, own up to it and just say, hey, you know, she said something one time, I can't remember exactly what, but I do remember that it was along the lines of, she's a hooker, I don't have receipts, and just leave it at that. Because I'll believe you. I mean, I may believe that maybe you hear the entirety of it. Like, if you can't get more specific than that, like, I'll give this woman the benefit of the doubt that maybe she's not a hooker and you might have heard something and made it like out to be something. But I could care less if this woman is a hooker, to tell you the truth, because it's just totally entertaining to watch somebody go in on the people that went in on her, and to like totally not care at all anymore. And the one thing that I'm kind of like, I don't know, I'm kind of intrigued by is the fact that Joy has really gone in on them this hard, you know, to the point where like she's put out all their information, which the people already have been doxxed and everybody already knows who they are, but at the same time, her audience is so big that it's a new level for these people. Like, it really is. Now that I'm sure I'm not 100% sure of this, though, because I think the people that are like me that enjoy Sparkle BS really could give a shit about actually going in on these people and like doing the shit that they do. So I don't really know they're experiencing a whole lot of that, but they might be. There might be a few of us that are just like, all right, let's go after these people and all, you know. Sure, there's some fans out there that are like that, and I am a fan of Joy Sparkle BS. Like, she's pretty much an entertainer to me. I enjoy it. She's a comedian. Maybe not a lot of people would see it that way, but that's the way I see it. I am enjoying her as a comedian, and I would say if you haven't listened to her stuff, if you come back right now, you're going to be kind of lost in what's going on, because her channel she deleted her channel, and you can't go back to reference all the old videos. And I haven't really went to look into what's being put out there about her right now, because I'm sure there are people making videos about her. So if you go and you see these people's videos, I'll just put it this way: you can't believe everything you hear. You know, there's some things like that were said about her that just aren't true, like that she's a racist because of some of the comments she made in live streams, and they were taken out of context. So if you start to see this thing where people are saying she's a racist, it's not true. She's not. I even did a parody song about it called Joy Sparkle BS is Not a Racist. It's still on my channel, and it references, you know, the fact that she has a Mexican boyfriend and different things. So check that out. It's kind of just a little funny thing I wrote, and she actually commented on it. I don't know if her comment's still on it because she deleted her channel. I haven't checked, but she thought it was funny. But anyways, that's one cool thing about Joy Sparkle BS too, is she's very interactive. You can actually leave comments on her channel and she'll respond to them. You can tweet at her and she'll like your tweets. You can basically have some sort of a dialogue with her. I mean, you can make a video and tweet it to her. She'll probably watch it and comment on it. Who knows? But yeah, I enjoy that. She's small enough that you can do that, but she's big enough that she has an audience, and she's worth watching. She's funny. She's probably she is in my top 5 favorite YouTubers. My whole thing is I'm hoping that this thing where she went in on this woman calling her a hooker doesn't come back to bite her in the ass, like, because that is borderline libel, or you're going after somebody's character. You're slandering their character unless you can prove it. So I hope she does have receipts that this woman is in fact a sex worker beyond burlesque, because I don't consider that a sex worker, or prostitution, or even a stripper. It's burlesque. It's different. There's a lot of classy women that do burlesque, and in my opinion there's a lot of classy women that strip and are prostitutes as well, but that's just me. I have a very open mind with that sort of thing. But I'm just interested to see the receipts on that one, because first off, I'm a little bit uneasy that she's going to get herself in trouble with YouTube bullying if she doesn't walk a fine line with that. And if she can back it up and she doesn't go in too hard, she'll probably be fine. But at the same time, these people are the type of people that will flag that, and it's all up to whether or not YouTube listens. The videos are still up. Joy hasn't been talking about getting flagged, so I don't know if they've been trying. It seems like they have. She put up a video the other day where Westerville was pitching a fit. Oh, I just said his name, damn it. He was pitching a fit on the internet, talking to YouTube support, and I guess he wasn't getting very far with them. So I think he might be trying to get Joy a strike on Joy. Who knows? He probably is. That's what I'd be doing if I was him, if I was that type of an internet troll person, but I'm not. But it's entertaining. One other thing that she's done since she's came back is she'll do clickbaity things, and she'll do topical things, and then I find it highly entertaining. And I'll give you an example. Kid behind the camera is a hot shit topic usually, no matter what, especially if you're at Joy Sparkle BS's level, because people are going to want to hear what you have to say about things that are going on with other bigger YouTubers. So for her to make a video concerning something that's going on with Kid behind the camera, especially since she has somewhat of a dialogue going on with him, they're actually pretty chummy, it's going to bring her views. Now, other people can argue whether or not that's clickbaity, but I think it is. So it's smart of her. She picks a topic of what's going on with him, something that she has a strong belief in, and she's able to make a video off of. But what she went in on was these kids, man. But what's funny about it is people will come after her, or not come after her, but will tweet at her, trying to get her to go after people. Like to get all such social justice warrior on something they took offense to. And she kind of did a piece on the person that tried to do that with her, and kind of was like, okay, and kind of broke it down for the person on how they were acting and what they were doing when they're actually, themselves kind of being silly and stupid. And she broke it down on how silly and stupid it was that they were getting all offended and trying to get her to go after these people. Well, part of the argument this person was giving for her to go after Kid behind the camera was this thing that happened with these teenagers that sent him some pizzas, and he basically responded by putting them in the call that he made to them to confront him, because they left their phone number, one of the kids left their phone number on the, their real phone number with the pizza delivery service, or the pizza place, whatever. And so the kid behind the camera had access to this kid's number and called him up. And I guess he edited it, which he did. I mean, that's what he does with his vlogs. And took out some things about the, I guess he was being nice to the kid, and the kid was kind of miffed that he edited out the parts where he was being nice to the kid, and really just left in the stuff where he basically said he thought the kid was full of crap, couldn't own up to what he was really trying to do, and got caught. So, that's the narrative kid behind the camera wanted to put out there, and no biggie, right? Well, these kids, they threw a hissy fit on the internet saying that he was making them into haters and all this and that. And Joy kind of took the video of these kids flipping out on kid behind the camera and broke them down and kind of went in on these 14, 15-year-old kids. And I find that completely fucking hilarious, because I believe if you're old enough to, first off, go on YouTube and post stuff out there for the world to see, you're old enough to hear back from adults on the internet to kind of break it down for you, because their parents obviously aren't doing it for them. So actually doing these kids a favor by kind of going in on them. I mean, that's my opinion. But it's funny to see how the internet reacts, because there's this unwritten rule that if you're an adult, you're not supposed to go in on children. And I don't believe that. I think that's actually stupid and wrong. I believe that for us to sit around and let our children be monsters is definitely not the fucking answer. So I found these videos highly amusing, and the comments on them highly amusing. And this is the type of stuff you'll get from watching Joy Sparkle BS. Is she'll just do whatever the fuck she wants, and all these people that she breaks these social norms will get all offended because she does something outside of what you're supposed to do if you're a fucking lemming. And it's highly entertaining to watch the fallout from all this. So that's what I'm enjoying. I'm excited that she's back. I'm excited that I get to watch the shit show. I hope it doesn't end like the last time, where somebody comes in on her too hard and she gives up and deletes her channel. I know it's all her thing, it's her YouTube channel. She can do whatever the hell she wants in it. I'm just being selfish. I enjoy the content that much that I don't want it to go away, basically. When it did go away, when these people got to her and she ended up deleting her channel over it, I was really highly disappointed in her. I thought she was being kind of a pussy. I mean, that's easy for me to say because I wasn't in her shoes, but at the same time, it's kind of she's came back and she's doing what I thought she should have done to begin with, so I knew it was in her. And I was just a little disappointed that she had to totally fuck herself financially, because that's a financial hit to kill a 60K channel. And now her channel's only at 14K. She's got to rebuild it. So I mean, it's a learning experience. It will help develop her character. I'm sure she hopefully won't back off again and be a pussy again. But yeah, so that's how I feel about that. I really like her stuff. She's really smart. She has a lot of common sense type things to say. She has a background that's a little bit off color that I think is brilliant, She's got some new age ideas, as I do. And I would love to actually talk to her at some point. To interview her, really. I would actually sit down and take the time to formulate a really good interview with her. So if I ever get the opportunity to do that, I'm going to take it. So, I mean, it would take me some time to actually find all the information I would need to actually have the questions and know exactly what I want to ask. But I believe I'd do a pretty good interview with her if I ever get that opportunity. I'm enjoying watching her channel grow. It's kind of fun to watch success on YouTube. Somebody that has the charisma and the vernacular ability to break through the walls and make something work. And she's been getting subs and it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch. She's putting up a lot of content. She's putting it up pretty much daily, sometimes multiple times a day, or at least every other day. Or, you know, she puts up a lot of content. That's one of the other reasons why I enjoy her channels. So her old channel used to be Spurpinklebo, and it's funny, you'll still see that on her banner if you go on her channel, her new Joy Sparkle BS channel. She changed the name to Joy Sparkle BS because she can't get back her old channel. She deleted it, and that's what she's known by. So it makes sense she would change Spurpinklebo to that, because that will automatically get her some subs just by doing that. And but it's funny that the Spurpinklebo banner is still up. I kind of dig that. I hope she leaves it like that, really. What else? I can't wait till she really goes in on some of these other people she keeps hinting that she's going to. I just hope she does it a little bit better than she did with, I've already said his name, Westerfield and his girlfriend. Because for me, she hasn't really given the receipts needed for me to actually want to back her up as far as like what she did, which was call this woman a prostitute. I mean, if you're going to call somebody a prostitute, I don't have any problem with prostitutes, but there's plenty of people online who do, who will totally go in on you just because they think you're a prostitute, that I would really like to see that there is evidence of that, because at least they'd be going in on somebody who has kind of shown that they're a prostitute instead of somebody that may or may not be a prostitute. Like, at this point, all we have is Joy's word that this woman's a sex worker. I mean, show us some like actual evidence. And she hinted that there's some evidence in this call that she's putting up, and that she's going to have to put it up in pieces. We've only got one piece. I still haven't heard the Vivica prostitute evidence. I want to hear it. I really do. Like, please put it up soon, because it's getting annoying that it's not out there yet. That, you know, you should have really put it out there right around when you made this claim. Like, if you're going to make the claim and do a live stream talking about it, make sure you have the evidence, like, at your disposal to show what you're talking about. Like, don't just make a claim and let the internet go fucking crazy, and then not back it up for days and days and days and days when you have the evidence, because you said you have it. So if you really do, I want to see it soon, please. I mean, because it's kind of driving me fucking bonkers. Because I want to put it at rest whether or not you really have this evidence, or if it's just something you're kind of pulling out of your ass from one conversation you had with them at some point a long time ago. I don't know at this point. I don't know what's going on. I want to know what's going on. Inquiring minds want to know. So if you watch this live stream, Joy, I'm going to tweet it at you. Inquiring minds want to know. How the hell do you know that Vivica is a sex worker? Like, was it something Jared said to you? Was it something Vivica said to you? I enjoy the whole day drunk thing, you know, whatever. You know, the whole bad mom thing, you know, who knows? If she has somebody to watch her kid, maybe she is a bad mom still. Like, maybe she should be spending time with her kid. I don't know. I'm not going to judge her on that. There's a lot of people out there that do a lot of fucked up things to their kids. I don't know what she's doing to her kid, but she could be a sex worker and still be a good mom, in my opinion. Only up to a certain point, though. Once her kid would have the ability to have the reality of what's going on. If she's going to do that, she needs to not let her child be online till they're an adult, and to stop doing it before the kid is old enough to know what's going on, because that will make her a bad mom, in my opinion. Is if she does it, if it affects her child, then it will. But if she can keep it like a different part of her life that doesn't affect her child, I don't know if she's a bad mom. So to me, that's just all like, I don't know. It's you kind of kicking at her, which you have every right to do after what she's done, in my opinion. You know, the whole trolling and coming after you. I would also like to see some receipts on, besides like making comments on Twitter from these people, like what exactly did they do that crossed the line from just being a hater to being somebody who was dangerous? Like threats of violence. I know you did just put up a video that Jared says he's a violent person and he's off his meds. Whatever, I don't care. I wish more people would come off their freaking meds, even if they need to be on meds, to tell you the truth. I don't think those drugs that they're on are really benefiting society. Maybe there's some extreme cases where people really, really need their meds, but if the effect of him being off his meds is that he's an internet troll, I don't give a shit about that type of thing. As long as he doesn't show up somewhere with a gun and start shooting people, I'm okay with the dude being off his meds. But that's just me. But it is a valid point that you could bring up and talk about. Dude's off his meds, admittedly so. I can really give a shit about that. You know, so a lot of these things that you bring up about these people are really, I could care less. There's so many worse things that people are doing. I want to get to the nitty gritty of it. Like, what did they actually do to you? How did they cross the line and make it an unsafe experience for you and the people around you? That's the type of shit that I want to know, and I'll tell you why. I would like to write an article on this. So I'm not just asking you this stuff because I want to know as just a viewer, but I want a complete picture, because after I have a complete picture and sources where I can actually go and pull out quotes, I can actually, you know, you just put a video up of somebody who wrote an article. I would also like to write an article, or make a documentary. I'm not really sure which one yet, but I want to know the exact things, because I'm not going to do it if it's not something I can be exact with, because I can't get behind writing that you've been bullied on the internet until I can actually look at the evidence and be like, damn, these people fucking suck. You know, what they did sucks. I want specifics on what they did. And I know you haven't released a lot of that for some reason. You've just been kind of vague about it. So please get specific about it. I'd like to see it. I'd like to know exactly what they did and how. Like, I understand maybe it's because it was done with, some of these things were done with other names, and you're just kind of having to look at how they talk and be like, oh, I know who this is. But even that, like, release the suspected names, maybe show some patterns where they admit that they go under different names, something that I could, like, tie the stuff together and create a narrative that's not just Joy says this and Joy says that, you know what I mean? So, because I have a Steemit blog, and I really would like to write an article. It's an intriguing history. I mean, you had us on YouTube, and this type of thing caused you to leave, and it was because you were doxxed to the level that you were doxxed. That's the real story. That's the story. That's the story I want to hear. Like, I don't care that Jared Westerfield's not taking his meds. I want to hear, like, the real shit. Like, and I want it to be specific. Like, I could care less about a stream of his little comments as it 4A and 4B and all that shit. I mean, it's entertaining. Don't stop putting that shit out there too. But I want the exactitude. Please give it to me. So I know I just kind of talked to Joy there for a minute. I don't know if she'll ever hear this, but I am going to tweet it at her later. So we'll see. I would like also, and when I say I would like, I'm not giving Joy directives. I would like her to do whatever the hell she wants. I'm just saying, as a viewer, as a fan, as somebody who is interested in actually dissecting this whole thing and, like, writing or doing something significant with it, like a documentary, for instance. Like straight up, it's pure documentary material. I mean, it shows like so much about our culture, the story of what happened to her from point A, the beginning, to where we are now. Like, I would need access to Joy to be able to do that, and I can understand how she wouldn't want to give people on the internet access to her, but I would like to build some kind of a rapport with her so she would trust me. I don't know what that would take, or if she would even, maybe she would never want a documentary made, but I kind of have a suspicion that she'd be open to it. So if you see this, Joy, know that I really do want to make a documentary on this thing, and I would need your help to do it. And all I would need is you to provide me the evidence that I know you have. Like, I know you keep all this stuff, and I could go through and get a lot of it myself, but I might at some points need to come to you and ask you for certain things I can't find, or I'm having trouble finding. So if you see this, just know that I would love to get this story out, like the entirety of the story. Like, when I say I want to write something, I want to write, like, even if I don't do a documentary, I want to write like a full-on article, like publishable article. Like, I might even try to get it published, and not just on some internet e-magazine. Like, I think I'm not going to say I'd be successful at it, but it's a really good story. It's a really good story. And I don't think anybody's really written it yet. I haven't seen it. You did kind of show that article the other day, but I thought that was kind of weak, especially when the woman called her a sex worker, and it was only off of you calling her a sex worker. See, that's not the type of journalism that I will do. I will need some kind of receipts. So, and even if it's that you had a remember a remark in a conversation, then that's what I will say. You remember a remark in a conversation. That's the story right there. You know, that's how people get away from journalism, is by just going off of secondhand information, like Joy saying this woman's a sex worker, and then just putting it in an article that she's a sex worker. That's so much of what's being done nowadays in journalism across the board, mainstream, independent journalism. It's people don't really understand the integrity that it takes to actually write the right type of material. It's as simple as this. And I've taken some journalism classes in college, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand what I'm going to say, so I'll just lay it out for you. It's who, what, where, when, why, and how. It's fact-based. It's not opinion-based. You have to stay away from your opinion and use words like alleged. You have to actually stay factual. Like, there may be something that somebody's saying, but if you don't know it's a fact, you have to use the appropriate words surrounding it. You don't say Vivica Doolittle is a sex worker just because that's what Joy Sparkle BS said in an article about a situation. I mean, for me, that ruined that article. Straight up. Like, I kind of went after that. I was like, golly, man, what's going on with this? I know you got a kick out of it, and it was fun for that. The fact that you got this woman to write a whole article and kind of like call this woman a sex worker in an article. Yeah. But at the same time, this article's kind of made itself out to be bullshit as soon as she does that type of shit, as far as I'm concerned. So I would like to write something real. And when I say something real, I don't mean that I want to go to Jared Westerfield and Vivica Doolittle and get their side of the story, because I don't. I just want documentation that I can create a narrative from, that are source material, that where there are vagaries, I'll leave them as vagaries and address them as vagaries. And from the beginning, I will say, I have no interest in talking to Jared Westerfield or Vivica Doolittle. If you want their side of the story, you need to go to them. But this is what I have evidence of what I've got to say. That's the type of thing I want to do. I think it would be fun. So, Yeah. I mean, even if they tried to talk to me, I really wouldn't listen to them because believe what you say is true. They're internet trolls and they're shit starters, shitsters. They'll jump from whatever fucking side they gotta be on just to be on a side trying to get attention. And I believe that that's their character. So if I believe that that's their character, why would I even want to listen to anything they have to say? Whereas I believe your character is just that you like to have fun. You're willing to talk about controversial issues. You actually do have empathy for people. You're coming from a totally different place than what I believe them to be coming from. And that's just, I've done some research into them on my own that I've come to this conclusion about these people. They're just lost. That's the best. I don't want to go get information from lost people. You're not lost, Joy. You're having fun. You're being yourself. You're not doing anything but that, which is highly entertaining and enjoyable. So I don't know what it's going to take for me to get you to get you to trust me, or if you would even be open to this. Which, if you're not, I totally understand. If you just kind of are not interested, you don't want to do the work even, because I'm sure it would take some work on your part, and you've had people burn you in the past repeatedly over and over again. So I don't have any expectations in this. I'm just putting it out there that I would enjoy doing it. Because I find Joy Sparkle BS's whole arc of what happened to be fascinating, from the beginning of when she was just all of it really, when she was going in on Onision and her star started to rise because she was saying poignant things and making so much Onision content, and she was getting attention of people that were getting miffed at the fact that she was, some people saying she's putting up too many videos and all this and that. It's fascinating to me, like how all these people kind of, she was getting all these people's panties in a twist. I would like to go back and just go through that whole time and do a timeline, maybe a Joy Sparkle BS timeline, and just hit everything that's happened. It would be such a great, that's why I said documentary. I mean, especially if I could get access to all the old footage from her channel. I don't know if she saved it or if she just let it die with her channel. But if she I know she has some stuff, because she talked about uploading some old content. I don't know if it was content that she never put up, or just some of the stuff that she does have that she didn't delete, that she's going to put out there little by little. I don't know, but I'm intrigued. And a lot of it has been, I would have to, if she told me that she doesn't have any of it, or that she doesn't want to give it to me. Actually, if she didn't want to give it to me and wants me just to not do anything, I would respect her on that, because I actually would be doing it because I actually have some empathy for what happened to her, even though I think she was a pussy and how she handled it in the long run. I can say that. It's easy for me to say, I wasn't in her shoes, but at the same time, I do believe it. I believe she kind of was showing weakness that she didn't need to show, because I believe she's a lot stronger than that, and it kind of was disappointing. But that's just me and my take on it. And I know she was going through a hell of a lot health-wise and emotional-wise, and so I give her some slack on that. And she's hopefully in a much better place, a lot stronger, realizes that, she said a lot of it was that she felt she was in actual danger, and now she realizes that these people are such losers that she's not really in danger. I hope that's what it really was, because I can kind of understand that. If she really did feel like she was in danger and that's why she shut the channel down, I can understand that. I'm not saying I buy that. Straight up, Joy, I don't buy everything you say. I'd have to be a fool to do that, to tell you the truth, because you're a human being. I do it, everybody does it. Everybody has the propensity to try to paint themselves with the best paintbrush and paints that they got at their disposal. So there's that. But anyways, I would really love to do something on this whole story. Like, it's really a good story. And it shows what can happen to you online. Like, it really shows, like, from all sorts of angles, like, what can happen to you if you get any amount of success online. It could show what happens to you if you try to talk on controversial topics, even. It could show what happens to you if you start to get more attention than established YouTubers and how petty they can be. There's a bunch of this. So even if Joy doesn't have access to those old videos, that's not the end of the story, because there's so much that other people have on their channels. I could probably do a deep dive into the internet and come up with enough material to still do a documentary. So, I don't know. It's something that I'm intrigued by, that I've been tossing around in my brain. So, the icing on it, though, would be if I actually had access to stuff. But the name of this live stream is Joy Sparkle BS is back, and that's what's going on right now. I'm having a lot of fun. I actually have somebody to watch again. I've kind of been bored with YouTube lately, because I like YouTube drama. It's fun, but most of the YouTube drama is boring because it's not that real. Where the stuff that's going on with Joy Sparkle BS is kind of real. It's like real, so it's fun. And all the other stuff's so petty, and like people that are so entitled that I just can't stand getting into their drama. Where Joy Sparkle BS is like, just like me, she has no money. She's just got a camera and live streams with it, and makes little videos with it. Sometimes it's tilted and she can't get the damn thing to go straight. And sometimes there's blurriness, so she has to cut out the video and put up text images. I like that. I like that raw, whatever it takes type of attitude to get out your message. Like, it's the message, not the actual like footage. That people, it's funny though, people really love seeing Joy on camera. Like, they were giving her a hard time because she was having some camera issues, and so she was putting up a lot of these videos recently that are like text or picture based, where she just kind of flashes the text. And old school Joy Sparkle BS is more like she'll sit in front of the camera and just talk and rant, and people miss that. So she's been getting a lot of shit from her fans, like, you need to get your camera fixed, and just a lot of stuff like that. So it's fun to watch. It's fun to see somebody have so much interaction with their fans. And I really hope that one day I can get on one of her live streams. She's already said that she's going to be highly selective about who she lets on, because she's been burned so many times. I don't blame her. But it is a goal of mine. I may not accomplish it, and I'm fine with that, but I'm allowed to have that goal, and I would love to be on a Joy Sparkle BS live stream at some point. So we'll see if we can make that happen. Because even though she says she's not going to do that, she still probably is one of the most accessible YouTubers out there. And she used to have these live streams where she would just let Joe Blow come on if she just decided to, She'd just be like, all right, I'm sending this person a link. And it's somebody she didn't know. She did this quite often. And I tried to get on so many times, and it was hard for me to get on because I had a lot of other stuff going on, so I couldn't just sit there and like keep at it or whatnot. Sometimes I did. I think I almost got on maybe a couple times, but she's not going to do that anymore, and I accept that. But who knows? We do have some kind of a rapport. It may be very minimal, but who knows what it could really lead to in the long run, because I really do have her back as a person. We all have character flaws, and I really could give a shit about her character flaws. We all have them. Why get hung up on somebody's character flaws when you actually enjoy so much about them? Like, that's stupid. That's stupid. Enjoy people, That's my suggestion. Find people that you like and enjoy them. You don't have to, they're going to have character flaws. Why get hung up on that? And that doesn't mean you have to like go in and defend their every little thing either. I mean, let them have their character flaws. Let the people that take offense to it take offense to it, and just find your enjoyment in it. So that's what I would suggest. But for anybody who doesn't know, Joy Sparkle BS's chats on her live streams are a lot of fun. So if you just want to entertain yourself, go subscribe to her channel, hit the notification bell, keep an eye out for a live stream, and become part of it. Become part of the drama that is Joy Sparkle BS. Because it goes further than drama, but you're going to get some drama, and it's fun. It's fun if you like internet drama like I do. And I've been missing it. You know, I can't get in it on the whole Onision thing. And like a lot of her stuff I was late to. I was late to the Onision thing. I never really could get into it. She did a few videos after, like, you know, she did a debate, and it was all fun and fine and dandy, but I wasn't particularly thrilled with that content. It was kind of weak, if you ask me, but it was what it was. It was something, at least. It was something. I really like when she gets in an uproar about something that's going on, and she has a poignant opinion about it, and just does a simple video talking about what her opinion is. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to agree with about 80% of what she's got to say. So it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to hear somebody out there that isn't just regurgitating what the propaganda out there wants you to believe. Who's willing to kind of break the PC barrier and say things that are real. And do things like put some 14 and 15-year-olds on blast. I love it, really. I love that type of shit. I mean, that's what I do. I don't give a shit. I mean, she does it in her own way, but I do it in my own way. I don't give a shit. It's like, whatever happens, happens. I'm gonna say what I've got to say. And that's the way I function, you know. It may bite me in the ass, as it did her. Who knows? Or it may not. It may just be that nobody's fucking paying attention to me anyways. That's okay too, because I'm getting it all off my chest. And that's really what I need. Like, it's therapeutic for me to actually, instead of keeping all these things in my brain, to actually put it out there and know it's out there. It gives me a little bit of comfort, actually. It's one of the things that I like about social media, is that I can put myself out there and take some comfort in the fact that it's out there. Like, I let it out. You know, I didn't just keep it in. And that there's a possibility somebody else might see it. And that, who knows, maybe somebody will go and agree with it. What I've got to say, and validate my little fucking stupid quirks. Not that I need the validation, but it's like a conversation, you know. Sometimes you have people in your life who the stuff that you actually want to talk about, they're just not going to be interested because it's not the stuff that they want to talk about. So it kind of helps to be able to talk about the stuff that you want to talk about, and possibly have a conversation started with people who are interested in it that aren't in your real life, because that's just the way life is. A lot of times you'll be surrounded by people who just are not interested in the things that you're interested in. I know that happens to me quite a bit, and so that's one cool thing about the internet. It gives you a bigger pool of people that you could actually interact with and have actions on topics that you actually are interested in. So this is like something so petty that it's real niche, this whole Joy Sparkle BS conversation, but I'm sure there's a group of people out there that are as interested in it as I am, and if they happen to find this video, though, they may or may not have something to say to me about it, which I find intriguing, fascinating, and fun. So that's why I do this type of thing myself personally. That, and I'll have some content to tweet it at Joy Sparkle BS, so she'll know I want to do an interview with her, make a documentary, or write an article on what's been going on. Like, I don't know if she'll take out her little fairy wand and bless me on my mission, but that would be nice. But I'm getting close to my customer here, and this has been a pretty good live stream. I've said pretty much everything I want to say about Joy Sparkle BS, except for kind of maybe a little bit more about how she came to be. She also went in on Daddy 05 when that was going on. That's how I found her, because I heard about Daddy 05 and I was interested in it. Yeah, I just put Daddy 05 and she had all the video content, so I started watching her videos. And that's when I was like, wow, I like this person. This person comes at it in a way that I like. So I started watching her stuff and getting into what was going on in her little world, and it was a lot of fun. And, you know, she actually did some really cool things with her videos on Daddy 05. Like, she broke it down and showed how monstrous these people were. And she took some shit, you know, she took some hints. I think YouTube even came after her for posting some of the shit that she was getting off of their channel. And, like, she kept doing it anyway. She would go in on these people. She didn't let that stop her. Like, if there was something disgusting that she found in their video, and a lot of people were, you know, the whole thing was they were saying she was making money off these kids being exploited, you know, for views and whatnot. And she was getting a lot of views, and her stuff was monetized, but she was giving that money to the mother of the children, which that woman's a piece of work, and I can tell from the get-go that she was. I almost wish Joy would have kept I do wish Joy would have kept all that money for herself, straight up, or put it in some kind of savings account and given it to the actual kids once they're of age and they can benefit more from it than giving it to their POS mom, if you ask me. I mean, I don't know that much about this woman, but I do know enough that, you know, I read people's auras, really, and I know that may sound out there, but I just get bad feelings from people, and I know that you really shouldn't go on feelings. That's not logical, but at the same time I use enough logic with other things that every once in a while the logic and the feelings add up, and that's what was happening with this Rose woman. It's not like I have evidence that she's a POS. It's more like she didn't have her kids. There's probably a reason for that. I know she has a story for why and what the dad did. It's probably two sides to that story. She doesn't seem to have her shit together financially, which is something I think is important when you have children. At least enough to be able to, like, give them a place to live, food to eat, and all the cosmetics that they need to keep their body healthy. And when I say cosmetics, that's the wrong word. I mean, like, toothbrushes, toothpaste, place to shower, like soap and stuff. I know there's a lot of poor people who just struggle to even have those basics, and I'm one of them. So if I can do it, then somebody else can do it. Especially when my kids aren't even my own. So, and I take care of them the best I can. So I don't have a lot of empathy for people that, especially mothers, who don't have their children. Like, how does that happen? Like, there could be a story behind it, but it just, I wouldn't be one that would jump on the bandwagon of the mom just because she's the mom, I'll tell you that much. And this Rose woman has really shown herself to be a POS, which is how she treated Joy. And I would like to get into that part of the story too, in my article / documentary, because I don't pull punches, man. I don't won't pull a punch just because this is the mom of the kids that got abused. No, if the mom's a POS and I can kind of create a narrative from actual source material, I will do that. I have no problem doing that. You know, not to say that I think that the woman can't redeem herself, or that I think she has to stay a piece of shit. That's the way I operate in the world. Like, anybody can redeem themselves, anybody. But when they're living in that same way of not being somebody who's actively trying to be redeemable, I really have no empathy for that at all. And it's not because I think they're bad, it's just they have not come to that point in their life that really they're just a waste of time until they have. So that's really what it comes down to, is this Rose woman's a waste of time. So he's not a waste of time and actually starts to do things that people do that actually have a good character, I'm not going to really go to her defense on much. And I am here, so I'll be stopping this in a second. This has been fun. So you notice I did a little intro. I don't know if it got cut off, because that's one of these things with these live streams. If you do stuff too soon, it doesn't actually show on. But my little outro is, all right, YouTube. This has been Acousticsteveo. Have a great day.